Alright folks, welcome back to Your Mama's Wildlands. Today I'm going to be discussing heavy metal. Not like Rammstein or anything like that, but discussing what knives I use and what quality I look for. Not going to tell anybody what to buy. Buy whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you like, because that's what you're going to end up using the most. So, my knife of choice is bayonet from the AG42B Lungeman. And like I said before, bought this bayonet cheap. I can beat the crap out of it. It can take it. And I don't have to worry about anything. Sharpens pretty fast. Comes with a frog. The nice thing, because this was made for the military, it'll hang way low on your belt so that your backpack and stuff won't be hitting where your handle is, which is a benefit. So, long blade, heavy construction, and like I said, the handle is steel so I can beat on it. The other thing I really look for is the guards here. The last thing you want to do is for your hand to slide down the blade. So you can go nuts without any worry about your hand moving down the blade. What other knives do I carry? Well, let me cover my least favorite, which are knives that fold. These I would consider as your bread and butter knives, just because that's all I would use them for. I think I've gotten more stitches from these knives collapsing when I've been using them than any other knife. This is an old one that my dad gave to me. Keep it around for sentimental value and maybe a little bit whittling at home. But again, there's no protection for your hand sliding down, especially in colder climates. When your fingers are a little stiff, when your knife's a little wet. Sausage, bread and butter. Same, you get a lot of these cheapo ones now. They have a little belt clip. I don't know how many times it's fallen off my belt clip. And again, they are locking blades, but I've had even locking blades unlock when I didn't want them to. So, bread and butter, stick it in your back pocket as an emergency knife. Swiss Army knife. This is sort of the utility knife for all the small stuff. You need to clip your fingernails, you need to tighten a screw. Bread and butter. It has a few blades. I think this is the knife that's bit me the most, mainly because I used it the most, and probably because I used it incorrectly. Screwdrivers, it's got the pincers on it, it has the toothpick on it. Corkscrew, don't really know how many times I've used that, probably none. Again, good to have like in an emergency kit because it has all the little extras on it. My go-to knife, not. Alright, I do have specialty knives. Of course, I have my filleting knife. Now, a filleting knife is totally useless if you don't sharpen it. So whenever you take a filleting knife, grab one of the ceramic sharpeners and take it with you. These work best when they're really, really, really sharp. And they're less dangerous when they're really sharp. Okay, then I have my hunting knife. And again, I mean, I would probably pack this in my pack if I were to go hunting and really have my bayonet on my side and only pull this out for the day trips or half day trips. This is a Puma. It's got the gut hook on it. Again, it's used for skinning game, so it's very important to sharpen it, and then have a way of sharpening it while you're using it. Skinning deer and stuff, you're going to hit bone. Rabbits, if you cut through the pelvic bone. The other thing I've noticed is these gut hooks are never really truly sharp. So take some time, sharpen the gut hook, and make sure it's sharp. I've known a few people who all what they take for hunting is a box cutter. Hey, if it works for you, God bless you. Alright, the only thing I do not have is I have an ulu, which was given to me by Otto Kiak. Sorry if I killed your name. Is somebody that I went to high school with, and we ran into each other on a forum. And I had asked him, not for tourist ulu, but for something that they would use daily. And he actually got one of the elders, or one of the elders made 2 ulus for me. I gave one to my good hunting buddy. And I've been using the ulu when I've been processing my deer at home. Excellent for scraping the skin, excellent for skinning a deer. So primarily this would be to gut the deer in the bush, clean it out, and then I would use the ulu for processing the deer at home. Right now it's gone. My son is making me a fancier handle. The one that came with, again, it was a utilitarian handle. Yeah. He's a cabinet maker, so he's putting a nicer handle on it for me. Okay, so bushwork. Again, bayonet, grab a hunk of wood, grab your axe, wail on it, it'll split firewood, it'll split kindling. Not so good for bushwhacking and cutting down small bush because it just doesn't have the length nor the weight. I have used machetes from Canadian Tire, but they are totally useless as far as I'm concerned. It's poor steel, poor ergonomics. I just avoid them. The best machete I ever had I bought in Dominican Republic, and it was one that they would use in their sugarcane fields. It was light. It was almost made out of spring steel, so the blade was really thin. It held an edge really nicely. And it was my favorite machete until one of my nephews lost it in the bush. Alright, so hand protection. On this knife, we have that. Now, here's some kitsch. Gerber, good old fake Bear Grylls. Nice shows made for TV. I imagine he could really survive. I actually like this. It's good steel. You have to keep the edge sharp like everything else. I forget the technical term for this knife. Maybe I'll mention it in the description. Hand protection. Doesn't have much on here, although it does have a little bit. But this is where you get your protection from it sliding. So that's why one of the reasons why these strings, they're not wrist straps. You don't put it around your wrist and do something stupid like this and carry it around. They're meant to protect your hand when you're using it. So you slide the loop over, you stick your hand through there, and it will never go forward. And that's what you need to know about that. Gerber, like I said, good steel, stiff blade. This is what I use for all my bushwhacking, for my heavy duty work. Comes in a sheath. It's got some gimmicky emergency stuff. I guess that's okay, but I also have that in my first aid kit, my emergency kit. So it's nice to have. Again, military stuff. This goes back to Aboriginal people somewhere in Malaysia, one of the tribes. Like I said, I forgot what exactly the name of this shape of blade is. Now, the next one is Woodsman's Pal. This was given to the U.S. military. I forget now whether it was the Navy or the Air Force, but when they were in the Pacific. The nice thing about this, not really too thrilled about that, Velcro I'm not a fan of Velcro. Alright, nice thing about this is it comes with a sharpening stone. Always important to be able to sharpen your tools. Mind you, if you can find a nice rock, you can probably do it that way. So this is on the blade, made since 1941. Really heavy. I don't think I'd go hiking for too many days, just because I think an axe would do a better job. This is supposed to be a shrub cutting that you pull through. Again, it's not overly sharp. They never really sharpened it, so one of these days I have to spend more time on that. Good heavy steel. And again, made for chopping. The handguard, always important to have the handguard. And if you're going to buy a knife that you're going to use for splitting, always get something with a handguard. Sooner or later, if you don't have a handguard, you're going to slip down that handle and hit the blade. And again, kind of a cheap sheath. I would probably leave this somewhere in a camp and use it there. Oh, what else do I have? Oh, when I was a young lad, I always wanted to buy neat stuff, and you know, you buy the impressive, hey, it's on TV. For my backpack, I have, well, I believe it's called a boot knife. And honestly, I think the only thing good this is for is stabbing someone, or a bear if you like. But again, notice it's got the handguard. I put a lanyard on it for the same reason. Get your hand in there and you'll never cut yourself. Yeah, I probably have it on more for looks than anything else. Mind you, I do use them if I have to dig and stuff, but I've skinned a few, not skinned, gutted a few deer with this. So, makes me feel safe. So, that's always on my day pack for when I hunt around here. Don't know if I would actually put one on my big backpack for going up to the property. And the specialty one I have, because I will hopefully be doing a lot of bushcraft, is this. And I'm actually looking forward to using this more and more. I have actually made a few handles with this already. And it's just neat to have. I think I'll get a bigger one for debarking the logs I'll be using. But pull knife. If you're planning on being crafty in the bush, I think this would be one heck of a thing to have. So my son gave it to me as a Christmas present, and you'll probably be seeing it a lot once I build my shed up north, or my trapper cabin. The only thing I haven't covered is axes. Again, personal preference. But I am a big fan of these guys. I have them in two different sizes. If you watch my introductory video, you will see that I had this little guy strapped to my backpack. And this is sort of the perfect axe for survival. Cut through some small trees to make your shelter, process your firewood. Light handle, beautiful. What I did have to do, and you might want to keep this in mind for anything else, and I noticed that the Gerber blade also has orange on it, and that is, depending what time of year, if you put them down, you want to be able to find them. On my introductory video there, I know on that trip I spent 15 minutes looking for this axe. So as soon as I got home, I painted the handle. This is the bigger brother. This is what I do all my firewood processing at home. And again, the nice thing about this is you have the light handle. And again, it's marked orange. so that you can find it when you lay it down on the dirt. I think that's about it for now. Like I said, short videos. I'm going to try to keep them short. The next one's coming up. I am working on my water treatment system. And I will also do one on the perimeter alarms. The weather has really been uncooperative. It's been raining today. I was hoping to get out this weekend and do something, but they say there's going to be a lot of rain and snow. I was hoping to do something more up north, but just the other day they had 2 feet of snow up there. So I think after Christmas we're due for a trip up there. I'll be pulling out the toboggan, I'll be pulling out the snowshoes and everything else. So I'll probably have my next video out sometime in the new year or just before the new year. So take care, have fun, be safe.